I got some thoughts. I was reading a story the other day. It was a recent survey from the site Real Estate Witch. 90% of millennials said there is such a housing shortage right now. 90% said they would buy a house sight unseen. They just want to get into the housing market. And I saw that and I thought, well, yeah, that's what you do when scarcity is created. That's a lot like what the Rams did with Matt Stafford. There's a limited number of great quarterbacks. He had a losing record. He'd only made one Pro Bowl. And they said, well, there's about 7 of these guys on the market that our scouts think are difference makers, even though he has a losing record, even though he's finished 4th place multiple times. We're going to roll the dice, give up multiple first-round picks, and our quarterback, in fact, we're going to pay Jared Goff to play for Detroit for a year, and Matt Stafford to be with us. Listen, 82% of buyers, millennials, would be willing to purchase a fixer-upper, even if it needed major repairs, without seeing it. And this is why you got to take big swings. Listen, you can always call a plumber. You can always hire a contractor and fix things. It's the same thing with quarterbacks. You can solve your offensive line in a draft. You can find receivers. There's 30 great ones a year in college. There's 7 great quarterbacks on the market. You do what you got to do. You take big swings to get one. All right, a lot of noise around Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinal quarterback recently. He scrubbed the Arizona Cardinals from his social media. They took some shots at him, leaked it to Adam Schefter. He went back on social media. It doesn't happen very often, but we saw something happen during the pandemic. A big chunk of employees retired. And employees now, for the only time in my life that I can recall, employees, even young, talented employees, young employees, have leverage sometimes over companies. ZipRecruiter, you've heard of ZipRecruiter? They have job openings. They post job openings. Since the pandemic started, the percentage of companies offering retirement plans to employees has jumped 30%, almost a third. That had mostly gone away. Pensions had gone away. A lot of benefits had evaporated. Oh, not anymore. Because now employees with remote work, with a lot of people getting into early retirement, the employees now have the power, or at least equal footing with employers. And that's what Kyler Murray has. Kyler Murray looks around and goes, okay, Russell Wilson's in my division. Matt Stafford's in my division. Kyle Shanahan's in my division. What was Arizona before I got here? The GM and the coach were going to get fired. So Kyler Murray's just saying, pay me early. Josh Allen got money early. Like Josh Allen, I'm getting better every year. I've taken a franchise that lost a lot and made them more viable. This doesn't happen a lot. It hasn't happened a lot in my life, and I'm, 58 years old. But I think Kyler Murray is doing what a lot of employees are now doing. Hey, I got the leverage. It doesn't happen much. I'm going to take advantage of it. And he's right. I mean, Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson did not get the bag early and both got hurt. Josh Allen got the bag early, but he's 6'6", 250. Kyler Murray looks in the mirror and goes, I'm 5'10", 210. I want the money. I want it now. I have leverage. And I'll say this. In my history with dealing with corporations, I've rarely had leverage other than, I have a decent size audience. But when you do have leverage as an employee, you best take it because you may never have it again. Had an interesting conversation with somebody in an athletic department about the transfer portal and name, image, likeness. And Caleb Williams is going to make $2.5 million a year from Beats by Dre. Dr. Dre's a huge USC booster. He's going to make another $2 to $2.5 million a year from his name, image, likeness deal with USC through other donors, sponsors, advertisers. And listen, we all know in college football, it's a have and have not sport. What the athletic administrator was saying And this is a university that has had a lot of bowl success. It's not a top 5 program. It's a top 20 program. He said what scares a lot of these athletic directors, there's 130 Division I football programs. There's always been like 7 great ones and another 15 to 20 that are viable. And then there's a bunch that, kind of rotate year to year, another 30, your Purdue's, your BYU's, good programs, if they get the right coach, can win games. The fear with athletic directors now is the have and have-nots are going to exponentially grow the have-nots. Instead of having 30 have-nots, we'll have 60 to 80 have-nots. And there'll be, at the top of the pyramid, 6 to 8 programs like USC, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama. Maybe another 10, Michigan, Oregon, that kind of program. And then everybody else is going to be fighting for table scraps. The stories you are now hearing inside athletic departments, you need $10 million additional dollars per year today to get elite quarterbacks, elite edge rushers, and elite star high school players, or to keep yours in the program. $10 million a year. Okay, that is a lot of additional money when you consider athletic departments outside of football and men's and women's basketball. Everything else usually hemorrhages dollars. You ever meet anybody and they complain that they can never meet the right person? And could be a man, could be a woman, perpetually single, or have had bumpy relationships. And then the more you listen to them talk and confide in you, you think to yourself, maybe they're part of the problem. I was thinking about Kevin Durant. His career started with Westbrook and Harden, but Kevin's very passive-aggressive. He's not real confrontational, and because of that, even though Westbrook drove him nuts, he never went to the front office and demanded a move by them. Therefore, he broke him up. Then he goes to Golden State, San Francisco, right? It's great. Gets into some fights with Draymond Green. But instead of confronting Draymond Green, he left a dynasty. And what is he left with? Wacky Kyrie Irving, bizarre end-of-game liability Ben Simmons, and a roster that's not close to Milwaukee's chemistry and Miami's chemistry, and certainly not Philadelphia's chemistry. I kind of feel with Kevin Durant, it's on Kevin Durant. I mean, the Westbrook situation in OKC, if you would have gone to management and said, me or Westbrook, you think they would have chosen Durant, right? Like there was arguments already being made that he was the second best player in the league to LeBron. In Golden State, if he'd have said, dude, let's spend a couple of days, Draymond, hashing this thing out. I'll pay for the therapist. He'd be right now on the best team arguably in the league. I like Kevin Durant, but this is why confrontation is good and passive-aggressive is not. I mean, Kobe Bryant went to the Lakers and said, get me another star or I'll go to Chicago. They got him Pau Gasol. Michael Jordan did this on multiple occasions. Get me this and get rid of this guy. Kevin Durant's situation is the Bermuda Triangle of weirdness. Anti-vaxxer, flat earther, sage in the locker room, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons afraid to shoot free throws, doesn't want the ball in key situations in the playoffs, even though he's in his prime. It's hard to feel sorry for people who don't confront their problems. If you end up in another bad relationship, look in the mirror. Hi, everybody. It's Colin Cowherd, your affable host. I don't ask for much, really. That little box over there, subscribe box, push that. Subscribe to the YouTube page of The Volume Sports. Now, there will be a brief electrical shock after you do it. But hey, we're all in this together, right?